Hey everyone, it's Marla Copal, the Vitality Mentor. And I'm here today to just share a few thoughts. So if you'll remember, my topic is in spite of the situation that we're currently in. And I've been jotting down some thoughts all morning, but let me give you my background for why I choose to share this with you. In spite of is our opportunity to be resilient. We don't like what's going on. We doubt the information. We're not sure what we should do. But in spite of that, you need to stay open, flexible, and resilient because none of us have been in this situation before. And that's the clincher. We've not been here. So when I'm reading a lot of posts and people are pushing back and forth, like, well, no, that's not right. You're being an alarmist. You're doing this. You're stirring the pot. Stop. That is not resilient. That is not pulling together. So let me give you a summary of my life background. And it's just things that have happened in my lifetime. But I have lived under martial law, and it's not pretty. I have been lost at sea with 35 hypothermic women, and we were all bitching at one another about who's the leader, who's not the leader, who's making the good decision. And thank goodness somebody else stood up and got us under control. So we can be stupid in our ignorance. So I'm not calling you ignorant and I'm not calling you stupid, but I'm just saying if we haven't been here, we can't talk about it. And then I've also been in a situation where I just pulled a nonprofit out of before bankruptcy, we got it solvent. And I used my grandfather's simple business techniques. So have I experienced all experiences? No, I have not. But what I have learned in the last few years when I got involved in Healing Touch is that there are really some extreme autoimmune situations out there for some people. And my fear level may be at a level 1, but theirs is at a level 10. So if you like to think you're a good neighbor, then it's time to understand people's fear levels. This isn't about logic. It isn't about whether we're getting good fact or not. We do know people are getting ill. We can see from statistics out of China and Italy how well people have suppressed. Now, actually, South Korea has had the virus longer than Italy, and they have a better control rate going on. So if you want to look that up, go out there and find that. It's out there. So before we start accusing people of you're being an alarmist, we have to think that, yeah, everything could make a change because people will get ill. They will not be able to come to work. Services will be diminished. Who knows? We don't know. And secondly, let's look at the politics of the situation. People are still in this mode where they want to say it's this, say it's that, say it's whatever. No, this is real, folks. So let's talk about something. And this one is specific just because I've had the experience today. In Italy, they posted a notice of what triage might look like if hospitals got short of staff, if ICU units were full. It's called triage, and so their choice would be to leave the older people out of the system and help those who are younger. Well, that is scary. And did the news choose to put a good headline around it? No. They just made it look like every 80-year-old in Italy should be afraid of losing their life. But they were presenting reality. They were presenting what triage was like. So you have to remember that if we have hospitals that have limited staff and limited space, there will be triage. How they choose to make that triage is up to them. We don't get to have an opinion about it because we go to them for help. So the best thing is for us to take care of ourselves and to get inside, take a walk in the sunshine when there's not crowds, eat healthy, and just be sane. Be sane, please. So I remember when I lived under martial law, how many people I housed in my unit because it wasn't safe where they were, with Molotov cocktails and burning cars and riots every night. I was just on the fringe, but I got to tell you, I was very disappointed in humanity for almost a year. As a high social person, that was really a rough time for me. And I want to say that when I talk about ICU, I understand the levels of ICU. There's 3 levels. The first one, you're fine. They can take care of you. The second one is you're just a little more acute. You need some attention. But by the time you get to the 3rd level of ICU, they're down to 1 nurse per person. And you're in advanced respiratory failure, and you've got 2 organs under failure. So when you think of the staff it takes to manage that maximum ICU unit, the people won't be out there. And I know this as I watched my mother progress through each of those 4 stages of ICU until we chose to turn off a ventilator. So save yourself some grief, emotionally, mentally. Let's just get calm. Let's come into center. Let's be at peace with the way it is. Let's not have opinions about government officials and whether this is socialism or it is not. Everyone is fearful. If they're walking in fear, please listen to the fear and help them ground out with some pragmatism. So in spite of the fear, in spite of the challenges we have, and in spite of the unknown, how we will each stay healthy, win, and pull things together is to not keep pointing fingers at who did or did not make a good choice, who did or did not tell us something, who did or did not, whatever. Let's get together in spite of or because of the circumstances. Let's figure out what it means to be proactive before we go out there and make choices that are reactive. And I wish you all well. I'm sending light out to all of my friends, but I have to tell you, I have the most eclectic group of friends. I have 90-year-olds and I have 5-year-olds that are my friends. I have people who are light workers and I have people who are just doing their thing because that's what they know how to do, and it's all good. Nobody's got a right answer. I don't have a right answer. But what I'm offering you is some sanity in the moment. How do you walk the path without verging into panic? So if you have a contingency plan to have food in the house, have water, that's good. Contingency plans are good. Just don't panic while getting prepared. Think about it. What do you need? I mean, I have a lot of beans in my house and rice, but luckily I had some of that stock beforehand because that's just who I am. And my only concern in the next few weeks might be fresh vegetables. But that's because I had a plan in place long before we talked about this to how we could sustain ourselves for at least 3 weeks. Now, I know there's other people who out there who are really, really smart. They've sustained themselves for a year. But right now, my scope of comprehension and ability to plan ahead goes 3 weeks. So I could be one of those people that in 3 weeks is changing my tune. But I don't intend to. I want to stay on top of this. It's my preference to rise above, and let's have conversations about how we're all rising above, pulling together, making things better. So if you're following me on Facebook under Marla Copal, I want you to know that I posted something a friend Diane shared today. So Diane's in Denver, but she created, a friend of hers created, and she's sharing it. It's a piece of paper that says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm your neighbor. If you need anything, here's my phone number and here's my text." She's suggesting that you drop it on everybody's doorstep when you leave. If you want to be of help to help, not help to scare. So in spite of how things are here on March 16th, I encourage you to live your life with joy, to live your life with wellness, and to share that wherever you can. with anyone and everyone. Thank you, everyone.